Welcome to the first community meeting for the Inman Street Reconstruction Project. This project is part of ongoing improvements which the city makes to streets, sidewalks, and utilities as part of our rolling 5-year Complete Streets program. This project is partially funded through the state Chapter 90 program and will be a part of a larger construction contract that includes several of the streets in Cambridge. Inman Street has been included in the city's Complete Streets program as a result of the anticipated disturbance of the roadway for utility upgrades and replacements. The street was identified by public and private utility providers as having aging and deteriorating infrastructure. As the city planned and scheduled these utility improvements, it was obvious that proper restoration of the roadway surface and sidewalks with a thoughtful design process was warranted. In this presentation, intended to kick off the design process for the street and sidewalk reconstruction, you will hear about the policies, principles, and standards that drive our complete streets design process, and also learn about the upcoming utility work planned on your street in the coming months. The 5-year plan is a comprehensive plan for designing streets that safely accommodates all users, including pedestrians, cyclists, motorists, and public transportation users of all ages and abilities. The plan is developed with many priorities in mind: existing street and sidewalk conditions, proximity to things such as but not limited to parks, major squares, senior centers, and school. For more information on the 5-year plan, please visit cambridgema.gov/5-year plan. This slide depicts the most recent map of planned construction under the 5-year plan. The City Council adopted a Complete Streets policy in 2016. Complete Streets is an approach to planning, designing, building, operating, and maintaining streets that enable safe access for all users who need them. Vision Zero is another important policy adopted by the City Council in 2016. Vision Zero recognizes people make mistakes, so policy and design should ensure that those mistakes do not result in fatalities. As a part of this effort, the City of Cambridge has reduced speeds on most streets to 20 miles an hour. For more information on the city's Vision Zero policy, please follow this link at cambridgema.gov/vision zero. The elements shown on the slide are utilized by engineers, designers, and planners to achieve the goals of the policies adopted by the City Council. The Cambridge Growth Policy and Vehicle Trip Reduction Ordinance places an emphasis on sustainable modes of transportation to promote livability, improve air quality, and reduce gas emissions. Bus stop design must follow MBTA standards to ensure access to the bus by people of all abilities. The Cycling Safety Ordinance, or CSO, is intended to provide bicyclists of all ages a comfortable space to ride. Separated bike lanes have buffer space and physical barriers between the bike lane and parked and moving cars. Bike use is growing rapidly in the city of Cambridge, and we are adopting our streets so that cyclists are as welcome as motor vehicles. The CSO directive, guided by the vision of the city's bicycle plan, informs roadway infrastructure projects in Cambridge. We strive to make the streets safe and comfortable for people of all ages and abilities. All these policies and plans provide a basis for our design process in a general sense. We then work with residents on a detailed design options for specific projects, as each project is very different in terms of their opportunities and constraints. We take all this information in addition to input from the community and develop a scope of work for improvements. How do all these plans and policies translate to specific street and sidewalk designs? Starting with accessibility. Why is accessibility important? Number one is the law. Both federal and state regulations cover the construction of sidewalks and require newly constructed sidewalks to be accessible. And two, and more importantly, it's the right thing to do. We want our sidewalks to be as inviting and usable as they can be for people of all ages and abilities. For example, like people using wheelchairs, walkers, or even pushing strollers. As sidewalks are being redesigned, the team needs to identify and address existing deficiencies in the layout. Federal ADA regulations require that at existing pinch points, such as at street trees, hydrants, or utility poles, the city is required to provide a 36-inch minimum compliant sidewalk clearance between these fixtures and the back of sidewalk. In locations where achieving this minimum clearance is not attainable, the city may be required to construct a new 48-inch compliant sidewalk around this construction. This is achieved by constructing a bump out around the obstruction and into the roadway. Curb extensions have many benefits, including reducing the crossing distance, improved accessibility, preventing vehicles from parking within 20 feet of the intersection, all of which improves visibility of both pedestrians and drivers. The Cambridge Climate Plan and Urban Forest Master Plan documents Cambridge's commitment to maintaining a healthy environment in the face of a changing climate. These plans include specific steps we can take to slow down climate change by lowering greenhouse gas emissions and helping us reduce the impact of climate change by, for example, providing increased tree canopy to reduce impacts of increasing heat waves. Green infrastructure, or GI, is part of Cambridge's efforts to improve the quality of stormwater before it is discharged from the local drain system into the Charles River or Alewife Brook. GI refers to the variety of techniques which uses natural processes such as specially selected plants and soils to promote infiltration of stormwater into the ground or to remove pollutants such as phosphorus from the stormwater. The city has successfully implemented GI on a variety of roadway projects, ranging from major corridors like Western Ave to residential side streets in West Cambridge. We are committed to incorporating these types of environmental improvements into smaller projects as conditions and space allow. The plan shown here is the existing conditions survey plan and will be utilized as a starting point for design. It is important that residents who live along the street share their specific needs, concerns, observations, and feedback to the city to assist in addressing street-specific concerns of everyday users. As we mentioned, some of the underground existing utilities in Inman Street have aged and are in need of replacement. Prior to the start of the road and sidewalk reconstruction work, multiple utility providers, including the city, will be completing utility work along this corridor. This work will ensure that once the surface work is complete, there will hopefully not be a need to excavate into the newly restored surface for repair work. This work will commence in the coming weeks and will continue throughout this construction season. The first effort will be the excavation of some test holes to provide confirmation of below grade conditions, to allow for the utility corridors to be defined and the scope of each of these efforts to be confirmed. Also, in the immediate future, the 6-inch water line will be replaced by the city, followed by the replacement of the gas line by a utility provider. All this work will be ongoing as design is advanced for the surface restoration project. As mentioned before, in the coming weeks, the Cambridge Water Department will mobilize to the site to begin the replacement of the existing 6-inch water line. This water line dates back to 1898 and is one of the oldest in the city. The current condition of the pipe limits the flow rate to the hydrants to approximately 300 gallons per minute. The replacement of the 6-inch cast iron pipe will restore the mains flow capacity and increase the flow to the hydrant to around 1,500 gallons per minute. This work will be completed under the direction of the Cambridge Water Department by J&J Saka and is anticipated to take 15 weeks to complete. This project includes the replacement of all lead services and at no cost to the owner. As a new water main is being installed in the same location as the existing main, the project will require temporary bypass water to be established on the surface. The team is working on phasing plans to limit the impacts to parking in the neighborhood during this project. Residents should look for future communication from the water department for specifics of this work and how it will impact the street. Staff from the water department will also be on hand at the site to provide additional information. Now, with some understanding of how the city looks to design streets and with some idea of the work that will be completed on the street prior to the surface work starting, we invite you to join the conversation. We are starting a community process to gather ideas, information, and feedback. Please take this brief survey to tell us about your experience on Inman Street, and we will consider all feedback we receive and not just survey responses. This concludes this presentation, and we would like to invite you to join the upcoming scheduled in-person community meeting or provide us feedback on the provided survey. Now, for more information on the upcoming water work, please reach out to Jack Terrio, the Assistant Manager of Distribution at 617-349-4787, or you can email him at jterrio@cambridgema.gov, or reach out to the Manager of Distribution, Rich Hawley, at 617-349-4787. 4787, or you can email him at rhawley@cambridgema.gov. Now, for project related information, please reach out to the supervising engineer, Cara Felice, at 617-349-4827, or you can email her at kfelice@cambridgema.gov. Now, for traffic calming information, please reach out to the traffic calming project manager, Juan Avendano, at 617-349-4655, or you can email him at javendano@cambridgema.gov. Now, for community relations information, or if you need disability adjustments, please reach out to Corinne Ben Saunders at 617-349-4870, or you can email him at ksaunders@cambridgema.gov. Now, to receive future updates and notices about this project, please be sure to sign up for the project email list at cambridgema.gov/Inman Street Project.